It's All Hallows Eve, so today we're taking a look at the science behind a spooky game.
But which one to go for? Five Nights at Freddy's? Nah, that was overdone when the first sequel came out. Resident Evil? No, I'd probably end up seeing how much force is needed to make a Jill sandwich. Ah, here we go. This is more like it. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of The Science Of, the show where I take a look at the science behind your favourite game shows and more. It's the spookiest time of year, so today we're taking a look at the science behind Nintendo's spookiest franchise, full of ghosts, ghouls, and terrific puns like the Game Boy horror.
The story of Luigi's Mansion is simple, yet it's one that we've heard many times before.
Mario's missing, and it's our job to find him in a mansion that our titular coward won in a contest he didn't even enter. What a lucky guy. But Luigi isn't going into the mansion for the sake of altruism alone. Throughout the game, he's constantly on the search for riches. Luigi's got a bit more of Wario in him than his brother in these games, interested in living that mansion lifestyle any way he can. Saving Mario from the translucent clutches of King Boo is just one of the many hiccups on Luigi's way to living the life that this coward deserves. Throughout the game, you suck on curtains and hump furniture in an attempt to collect riches ranging from coins to silver diamonds. And by the end of the game, depending on how much money you've acquired, you'll get different ranks of endings, each of which gives Luigi a different style of mansion, ranging from the rank H tent, which you get from finishing the game between 5,000 and 5 million points, to the 3DS exclusive S rank mansion, which wouldn't look out of place in One Piece.
Now, this is all well and good, but you didn't come here for a synopsis of Luigi's Mansion. This is a game filled with ghosts and vacuum cleaners. Where's the science? Well, the biggest fan theory to come out of the first game was a result of some dodgy lighting, and that's no good to me. So how about we move on to Luigi's Mansion 3 to see what sort of science we can find.
Luigi's Mansion 3 is very similar to the previous two games in the series. You spend your time going around a haunted abode, busting ghosts, and stuffing coins into your dungarees. The main addition Luigi's Mansion 3 integrated into previous mechanics is GOOigi, a clone of Luigi made entirely out of a green goo that's able to do everything that Luigi can. Whilst originally introduced in the 3D remake of Luigi's Mansion as a second character for the game's multiplayer mode, in Luigi's Mansion 3 GOOigi reappears as a core mechanic. In this game, he helps Luigi to cross through unopened gates and past spike pits. But what exactly could GOOigi be? It's clear he's an intelligent organism, but he's still got a lot of limitations, melting at the touch of water or disintegrating in fire.
But who could possibly create artificial life as advanced as this in the Mushroom Kingdom?
Well, who else but Professor Elvin Gadd, Luigi's one and only companion throughout his spooky adventures. I mean, it makes sense, right? He already perfected teleporting Koopa transforming paint seen throughout Mario Sunshine, where he provided Bowser Jr. with his iconic paintbrush, and then went on to provide Mario with his Flood companion. So why not create a gooey doppelganger for Luigi? But GOOigi's a lot more than just a doppelganger. He's kept on the tank of the Poltergust in a liquid form, which when released forms into a gelatinous Luigi-shaped gel. But how could this work? What could GOOigi be made from? When we look at GOOigi, we see that he basically looks like someone got a gelatin mold of Mario's Player 2 and filled it full of a lime jelly. But as fun as it is to consider someone making a gummy de Luigi, I doubt that that's the kind of gelatin that could result in a living creature. Instead, we need to journey to the kingdom of Protista, the land of unicellular and small multicellular eukaryote organisms, and look at slime molds. A slime mold is the name given to a group of unrelated organisms that under the right conditions act as single-celled organisms. But if food is in short supply, these single-celled organisms will congregate and start to move as a single body. This congregation increases the slime mold's sensitivity to airborne chemicals.
So let's say that GOOigi is some kind of slime mold. What sort of slime mold would he be? Because there are two main groups of slime mold.
First of all, we have the Myxogastria group of slime molds. These are the most common slime molds found in nature, and like most fungi, they start their life cycle as spores, which go through different cycles of differentiation. After a while, it stops resembling a spore or fungi and becomes a slime called a plasmodium. This multinucleated organism is now a large single cell that spreads out and takes in nutrients through the process of phagocytosis. The plasmodium will take in bacteria, other protists, molds, and higher fungi in order to keep growing. A protist is just a word for a eukaryote that's not an animal, plant, or fungi. It's sort of your all-inclusive name for any eukaryotes outside of the big three. This slime is able to undergo enormous growth, with the nucleus dividing and taking the cell from something microscopic to something that's visible to the naked eye, and depending on the species, the plasmodium will be able to grow up to as much as a square meter. These giant cells are particularly useful in studying the movement of cells' contents within the cytoplasm, and this is thanks to the giant size of these molds, which means that movement is visible even at a relatively low level of magnification. And talking of lab-grown subjects, in 1987 a cultivated cell of Viscerum pleisophelum was able to achieve the staggering size of 5.5 square meters. Not bad considering that these things start out around the same size as Mario's role in this franchise. After plasmodiums we have dictostellids, otherwise known as cellular slime molds. These cells are distantly related to the plasmodium slime molds, but they have a very different way of living. Dictostellids don't form huge coenocytes, but instead remain as small groups. Unlike plasmodial slime molds which grow through division of cells, the cellular slime molds coagulate dependent on the right conditions.
Okay, so we've established that slime molds are the right kind of greenish gooish material for our GOOigi, but this amazing plan does come with two minor drawbacks. 1. We don't know if these slime molds are capable of moving, and 2. We don't know whether the slime molds can create a suitably mustachioed figure for our gooey assistant.
Well, a lot of molds will spread out onto a flat surface, and whilst they're capable of moving around in order to get more access for food, are they capable of filling up a Luigi-shaped pattern? Well, surprisingly yes. It's time to reintroduce Viscerum polycephalum, the slime mold that's affectionately nicknamed the Blob. As well as growing to amazing sizes, this slime mold has also been used to investigate potential and intelligence of slime molds. This slime mold is able to make its way around mazes in order to locate food. So let's just make a mold of Luigi, fill it up with food, and we're all good, right? Well, unfortunately not. While slime molds are very impressive, they're not capable of making any of the advanced mechanics that would be required for GOOigi, especially the Poltergust 3000.
So if we can't find something like this in the organic world, what we're going to have to do is look into the realm of scientists and engineers to see what sort of inorganic solutions have already been created and go from there.
We won't be looking too long though. As recently as this year, scientist Professor Li Zhang from the University of Hong Kong was able to produce a slime robot hybrid that's able to move and change its shape with ease, perfect for our GOOigi. But you may be thinking that this robot isn't the right colour for GOOigi, being more like a moving pile of sludge rather than the delicious translucent jelly that GOOigi is made of. So instead, let's take a look at these more appetizing looking transparent robots. These are 3D printed robots made up of something called hydrogel, and they were first developed by MIT students intent on producing robots for medical use that would be safe to put inside a human body. Hydrogels, as the name suggests, is a soft and resilient polymer that mainly consists of water. And this is important as it means a little bit of the old food colouring means that we could get our lime flavoured Luigi. These gelatinous structures contain intricately designed structures connected to rubber tubes that allow for water to be pumped into them. When water is pumped into the hydrogel robots, the structures inflate, causing the robots to perform simple actions such as curling up or stretching out. This means that the robots are able to do a range of movements, some of which are incredibly precise, able to grab a fish whilst it's swimming. The best part of this is that these systems are produced thanks to the magic of 3D printing, so arguably it wouldn't be too tricky to produce a little GOOigi with articulating limbs as seen in this simple mechanism. The rubber tubing's on a small scale so that it's barely visible, especially in water where they might as well be invisible owing to the robot being powered and mostly made up of water. So GOOigi could have a full circulatory system, keeping him standing strong. The only issue I have is with the goo-based vacuum cleaner and flashlight. This is stuff that I honestly have no idea how to get around because it's just that sort of cartoony logic that is fit for the Mario franchise. As well as this, I doubt that the Poltergust is 3D printing a GOOigi every time he's called out from his snug little chamber. But that's something that might be possible in the future if you combine the two methods of robotics that I've mentioned. So there we go. GOOigi could just as easily be a giant fungal growth or smart slime bot as much as he is a ghostly apparition. And the good news is that Luigi isn't going to be experiencing any negative side effects from bringing out GOOigi for any puzzles beyond his skills. None of the methods that I've discussed in this video provide any risk to human life.
But this isn't the last time we're going to be taking a look at the science behind Mario's brother. Even in the mainline games, there's a little bit to cover, because he's got that little kick that's even less scientifically accurate than Princess Peach's float, if you can believe it. And you know I love looking at the science behind the Mario games. And then there's the equipment that Luigi uses for his ghost-busting adventures. In the future, I'll definitely be taking a look at the science behind the Poltergust 3000, seeing how strong a vacuum it would need to produce in order to keep all of these mansions and hotels ghost and dust free.
As always, if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to help combat the ever-changing and frustrating YouTube algorithm, then make sure you share the video to help my channel grow. If you have any scientific subject or topic that you'd like to see me cover in the future, then please tell me in the comments down below. As well as that, follow me on Twitter to get updates on the latest science of videos, and join my Discord for chats about science, gaming and more. Thanks for watching. If you're looking for game-based content, then you can join me over on Twitch, where I live stream 3 times a week playing all manner of games suggested by the community. Or if you want to support the channel even further, then you could also contribute to my Patreon, where you'll get access to my private Minecraft server, as well as being able to get behind the scenes access to the creation of all videos.